It's locked fast. This door is tightly locked.
No, this hat frame will not work. It is not of the proper type. The hat frame must be of wire mesh, a type now out of fashion. No, this one will not suffice. Quite interesting.
I won't find anything else.
Regardez, mademoiselle.
It's locked fast. I don't need anything else from my suitcase at the moment. Perfect.
This is the wrong kind of hat frame. Think, Mademoiselle Marceau. It must be made of the wire mesh.
I'll put this into my scrapbook so I can take a closer look at it later. The door is locked. This door is tightly locked. That will do nicely. This looks like a puzzle box. Let me see if I can get it open. And now to see what was so cleverly guarded. I'll only keep this as long as I need it. I'm no thief. It's locked fast. I see nothing remarkable.
A single pipe smoker aboard, and all roads lead to him. Regardez, mademoiselle.
I have everything I need to read the paper.
That is most pleasing.
I have all the pieces. All that remains is for me to assemble them properly. The curling tongs have the burnt paper firmly but delicately in their grip. The paper holder is now in place. Now on to securing a heat source.
Daisy Armstrong, c'est ça. I now know the real name of the dead man. And I know why he had to leave America.
Monsieur Poirot, I have documented that case in my scrapbook.
I remember well the case. 10 years ago, Colonel Armstrong was an Englishman. He married the daughter of Linda Arden, the most famous tragic American actress of her day. They lived in the city of New York and had one child, 3 years old, whom they adored. 2 men snatched Daisy from the arms of her nursemaid. The police were convinced that the young woman had some knowledge of the crime and questioned her relentlessly. The enormous ransom was paid, but 2 weeks passed with no word from the kidnappers. And then there was a break in the case. 2 brothers named Perkinson were identified by witnesses and tracked to a farmhouse somewhere outside of the city. The Perkinsons were arrested at the farmhouse where they and a woman not identified had been hiding. They were tried and convicted. At their trial, they implicated Cassetti, not only as the mastermind of the scheme, but the man who shot the little girl. The tearful testimony of the Perkinson brothers surprised many, but they admitted their guilt. And in America, the crime carries the maximum penalty. During the sentencing, the Perkinson brothers tried to make the escape. Jeffrey was captured, but not his brother Robert. And Cassetti had vanished without a trace. Madame Armstrong gave birth to a dead child born prematurely, and she herself died. The evening after the double funeral, a broken-hearted Colonel Armstrong returned to the family brownstone on Park Avenue, locked himself in his study, and shot himself. A body was discovered in the New York harbor shortly after Jeffrey Perkinson died in the electric chair. It was identified by a relative as Robert Perkinson. If he was a suicide or killed by Cassetti, was never known. Cassetti was still at large, seen now here, now over there, and still more tragedy was to follow. The police refused to believe the hysterical denials of the poor girl, hoping she might lead them to Cassetti. In a fit of despair, the poor girl threw herself from a window and was killed. It was proved afterwards that she was absolutely innocent of any complicity in the crime. Cassetti was the man, there can be no doubt. He had used the same methods in the past, hired men down on their luck to do the dangerous work, but taking most of the ransom for himself, and always killing the victim if the police were closing in. He had many enemies, that one.
I cannot regret that he is dead.
I agree with you, mademoiselle.
Still, it is not necessary that he should be killed aboard one of our trains. There are other places.
Indeed. The investigation continues. And we progress, no? And now is the time for the assembling of the evidence. Collect all passports, gather information about our suspects, seek out any clues, follow every possible trail.